It's my very special honor today to present a man who's so important to this district. He's a pastor, he's been a representative at a local level in state politics, and he served us well and faithfully in Washington, D.C. I don't think he needs any introduction, and others say Congressman Tim Walberg. Sir?
Now I know a lot of you are saying, what's he wearing that mask for? It's a smile. Can you imagine when I get on the plane and wear this, going back to Washington, and the people getting on the plane to go back to D.C. to take money from the swamp, what they think? Well, they're not smiling when they see this. Now, I wanted this to be seen because there are people probably that will follow the pictures on the media that go out of here, on the Facebook things, and say, why wasn't Walberg wearing a mask? Well, he was wearing a mask. There'll be others that say, why was he wearing a mask? Can't win either way. All that to say is that we can't get caught up with anything other than winning this election. Nothing can stand in the way of keeping our heads up proudly and going to the polls and winning. That's what it's all about. I appreciate the opportunity to follow Andrew. Andrew's just come through a primary campaign, hard-fought primary campaign, with good candidates in that primary campaign. But one comes out a winner. I've been in primary campaigns. I was in a 6-person campaign, primary. It's no fun, folks. You make enemies of friends on all sides, but in the end, you got to come back together for the purpose of winning. And winning for the grand old party. Andrew served on my campaign 2 elections. I certainly it would have been very easy to endorse him. But it's the decision of Hillsdale residents and Branch County residents to make that statement. And so it's time now to draw together, and Andrew, great to be with you. You're following a great legislator. Eric, we're going to miss you, but I know you're not done. You, like other members, going back to when I served in the late state legislature with Mike Nye, have made a difference and have stood firm for the traditional values that are espoused here in Hillsdale County. Folks, we have an opportunity. It's coming up to stand for America. I spoke at an event like this in Monroe County just the other night. And you've gone way beyond Monroe County in numbers. But remember, Monroe County is a Democrat county until recent years. So they're doing their best. I spoke in Jackson, the birthplace of the Republican Party, where Hillsdale professors came up to Jackson under the Oaks, the corner of 2nd and Franklin Street, and what Ripon, Wisconsin couldn't get done, we got done here in the 7th District of Michigan. I represent the 7th District of Michigan, the birthplace of the Republican Party. It was the Emancipation Party. It believed in liberty and justice for all. And we are still that party. And Donald Trump has resurrected all of those ideals. I was with the president a week and a half ago up in Freeland, Michigan, when he came in. 15,000 people showed up for a demonstration. That's why we could do that. We're all at a demonstration here too, right? 15,000 people showed up. It was raining when Air Force One taxied up to the back of the platform. The president walked up to the platform. It's still raining. And he began his speech about liberty. He began his speech about the rights of American people, free people. He began his talk about why we're going to win this and why we must win this. And you know something? He didn't express a negative word about the chances at all. We can't have that in our mind either. But before we go too far with the positive, remember, unless we carry it across the line, and in this state they're going to be able to count ballots up to 14 days after the line. We got to make sure that every single vote for Donald Trump that could be, and remember, I've lived here for 42 years in the 7th District, the same house all those years, but I grew up on the south side of Chicago, where I'm still voting, I'm sure. But I'm telling you folks, we all have to vote early and often. Often means every election. In 2016, we came to the polls, right? And we stood for America. And we said, doggone it, we're not electing a Sunday school teacher. And we found out that's not true. That is true. But we've also seen him nominate and put in place as cabinet members plenty of Sunday school teachers. But we saw a president who, regardless of his personality, his policy has stood for America. It stood for our traditional values. It stood for life. It stood for our religious freedoms. It stood for our Second Amendment liberties. It stood for America, its people, and its Constitution. Josiah, you were right. Great speech in everything you said except one thing. I'm pretty brave to say that to a Marine, right? The one thing he was wrong on, Donald Trump did start a war. A war with the liberals, the Marxists, the socialists, the fake news. That's a war he started, and that's a war that we're joined together at the hip with him, right? That's a war he will win if America's people are with him. So he did start a war. It's called a war for America. It's freedom. I heard a great speaker in Monroe the other night, heading up Workers for Trump. This guy's a union member, UAW, a proud UAW member. There's no reason not to be proud of UAW rank and file membership. So leadership got another story. But these guys are standing true for American values because this president has done what he said he would do. Promises made, promises kept, right? He said he would build a wall. I've been down to the wall. I've seen the wall under construction. Even with all of the pitfalls put in the way by the progressives, he's still building that wall. He said he would do away with NAFTA, right? A lot of presidents have talked about doing away with that or amending it. Who's done it? Trump. USMCA, it is law now. And America's been put first. He said he would make opportunities for African Americans, Hispanics, Asians to be employed, have good jobs, and move up. And what happened? The lowest unemployment for African Americans, Hispanics, Asians, and almost for women. Keep trying, ladies. In the history of the United States. Promises made, promises kept. When has that happened before? This president, who is committed to fighting a war for America. My friend, the UAW, a guy who's head of Workers for Trump, a national organization, said this. He said, I want you all to go out. This president has sacrificed for this country. He's given up a lot of income. He's taken $1 of salary and giving everything back. He sacrificed, his family has. They've been trashed in the media. We need to sacrifice for Donald Trump as well. Don't say amen quick, because I got up another guy and said, I loved your speech, you're right on almost everything, but Donald Trump would not ask you to sacrifice for him. He wouldn't give 1 second of that sentence to you. What he would say is sacrifice for America. That's what I'm sacrificing for, he'd say. I'm not sacrificing for Tim Walberg. I'm not sacrificing for Donald Trump. I'm not sacrificing for Andrew Fink. I'm not sacrificing for anybody but America. And if we take that mindset, I don't care what wall is put in our way, what worry about stealing of votes, what worry about hitchhiking or hijacking an election. We don't have a worry at all, because if we're doing it and sacrificing whatever it takes for America, we'll complete it. Steve here said we need volunteers. Lawrence is a one-man dynamo putting all of this together. We can come to these. These are fun. When I was with the president up at Freeland, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to have him call me out. It was a lot of fun to be with all these people of like mind. It was a lot of fun to be driving out early before the president finished. I hope he didn't see that. But I had 3 hours to get home. But there was a mile of traffic still coming into the parking lot, trying to just be on the site with the president. And they probably got to the parking lot when Air Force One took off. But it made no difference because they believed in all that Donald Trump was going to talk about and what everybody was assembling for, and that America was awake and they were going to go forward. But those events are fun. Tomorrow night in Toledo, if any of you are going there, it'll be a lot of fun. It'll be a long time, so use the restroom early and often. But doggone it, what's going to bring him to the finish line and the other candidates on the Republican ticket, up and down the ticket, is going to be those of you who will volunteer to make those phone calls. I met a lady the other day who has now completed 4,200 phone calls. I hate phone calls, but she loves them. Some of you could do that. Some of you could go door to door and drop off literature. Some of you could put up yard signs, 4x4s, 4x8s. You could put those up. Many hands make light work, but more than that, many hands make this country work. And that's what it's going to take. 8.5 million people stayed away from the polls in 2016. Why? Because Donald Trump wasn't on the ballot. That's why I'm in the minority. That's why I don't have a chairman's gavel anymore. That's why we can't get across the line in the House of Representatives all that we got across those first 2 years of Donald Trump. When we cut taxes, we reformed the tax code. We put 16 regulatory reforms in place that impact jobs and economy and freedom in this country. But because people said, I did it in 2016, I guess I don't need to be opposed because Donald Trump isn't on the ballot this time. Well, Tim Walberg's in the minority. We can't do that again. This is something that we have to vote early and often, forever and ever, because the other side's going to keep coming back. And if they get control again, Katie, bar the door. So what I'm telling you, as I stood on the steps, and I'll finish with this, steps of the U.S. Capitol, with all of my Republican colleagues, the minority in the House, taking the pattern of Newt Gingrich and the contract with America. And Newt has said this is an even better contract. It's called a commitment to America. And we made promises to the American people based upon the fact that the Democrat agenda is to defund, to dismantle, and to destroy. And they're doing it. Our commitment to you and your commitment alongside of us, I hope, will be that we as freestanding American citizens, Republicans committed to the ideals of our great country, we are committed to restore our way of life, to defeat the virus, not to put a mandate for masks on like Joe Biden. We are going to restore our way of life. We're going to ensure our safety and security, supporting our law enforcement, doing what's right, supporting our military. Secondly, we're going to rebuild the greatest economy this world has ever known. And finally, we're going to renew the American dream and all that it means for those people that are yearning to be free, that are willing to face all odds to come here. They're not leaving, they're coming. So will you join me? For the next 43 days, anything and everything that you can do to restore America, to support this president, to support our ideals, and to see God indeed be able to bless America again, because we're standing on the same principles that he has honored since he created this earth. God bless us all. Let's go get them.